I want to thank the Yankee Clipper Council, Advancement Board, the Yankee Clipper Council, Eagle Scout Association, especially the class of 2012. I'm privileged to be able to be your honoree tonight as we begin our Eagle Scout dinner. I want to share with you just a little bit about something that you can have as conversation at your table tonight. And you'll find out what it is as I mention it a little bit. St. Paul's Episcopal Church in Newburyport is a huge rock church. And if you look at the front of the church, there are two big wooden doors. And as you approach the doors, they're quite heavy when you try to open them. And when you go through the two doors, inside is a vestibule. And directly at the end of the vestibule is another set of doors. It was 50 years ago, in August of this year, that I stood in that vestibule on a night in August, facing those two doors that were open just a little bit. And as I approached the doors, I looked inside. The walls were lime green. There was a mahogany table down the middle of the room, and there were 5 guys seated with ties on. And as I approached the door, one of them stood up and motioned me to come in. Thus, I was to begin my Eagle Border Review. I went inside, shook hands with the men, and I could feel the sweat running down the center of my back. And I went to the end of the table and sat down. I don't remember the questions they asked me, but I remember that night 50 years ago. And I say that to you tonight because if I were to ask any of you Eagles that are here, if you could tell me about your border review, for most of you, you just had it last year, so it would be easy for you. In fact, you could probably tell me the questions that you were asked. But some of us, as we get a little older, we start to forget some of those things, but yet I remember in detail those lime green walls. I remember those neckties that those 5 guys had on, and I remember sitting at the end of the table as they asked me questions. Why I remember those things? It was probably the first major event in my young life, receiving my Eagle Award. The Boy Scouts have kind of been compared to a business. We take an unfinished product like a Weeblo Scout or a new Scout as he crosses into Scouting, and we work with him. We develop in him a product, and our product is like the tenderfoot in the 2nd class and the 1st class Scout, just like a regular business. But we also develop a product that if you're into cars, the Cadillac, the Jaguar, the BMW, we develop a product which we call an Eagle Scout, which are you gentlemen that are seated here tonight. You have received an award that marks you as a particular man. One of the unique things with the Boy Scouting program is we've gone through some changes over the years, but not ones that are major. For instance, the Scout Oath and the Scout Law is said the same way today as it was 100 years ago. The uniform has gone through some changes. When I was in Scouts, we wore a green shirt, a green pair of pants, and an Army field hat. And then Oscar de la Renta came along in 1973 and decided we ought to have a different uniform. That uniform you guys are wearing tonight, the tan shirt and the green pants. They've gone through a few changes, but what was unique about Oscar was that he wanted to design the uniform, but he really didn't know the Boy Scouts. Back then, it was during the Vietnam War, and the Green Berets were the thing of people. They looked up to him. So Oscar said, Boy Scouts ought to have a red beret. And he developed a red beret for all of us to wear. The only thing was, it was made out of red wool to match the red wool jackets. Well, how many kids enjoy wearing a wool hat in the middle of summer? I mean, that was awesome. So then he said, well, we'll develop a baseball cap. And he developed a baseball cap with a cardboard visor. I don't know about you guys, but when our troop goes camping, it rains. And you can imagine what a cardboard visor on a hat looks like after one of our typical campouts. So then they decided, well, we'll update it, and we'll have the hat, which some of you guys have worn, the red front hat with the mesh back, with the snap tabs in the back to adjust the hat. And those are great until the snap tabs break and then the hat falls off. And now we're into the Centennial uniform, the plain green hat. those are a few of the minor changes that Scouting has gone through. I was recently asked what I did for my Eagle project. I got my Eagle in 1962. I didn't have to do a project. Ha ha. 2 requirements. Earn 21 merit badges, the ones you had to earn, and then, with the required ones, and then serve in your troop in some leadership position for 6 months. That's all you had to do. And you got your Eagle Award. I did do a project during that year as I was senior patrol leader of my troop, which we can discuss it some at a later date. But what I was getting at is, what do we represent as the Boy Scouts of America? What do you represent? I was told back when I was younger that I was the future of the Boy Scouts of America. Granted, I jumped in head over tea kettle. I've been involved for many years, and I've had the opportunity to serve with great people. The only difference is all of you, particularly you new Eagle Scouts, are the future of the Boy Scouts of America. We have been here 100 years. We celebrate the 100th anniversary of the Eagle Award this year. You are the future. Without you, the Boy Scouts of America may not be around in 50 years or 100 years. I'm not challenging you to take over your scout troop when you turn 21 years old and serve as Scoutmaster for 42 years. That I'm not asking you to do. All I'm asking you to do is to commit to the program. Become a den leader, become a Scoutmaster, become a troop committee member, become a member of the executive board, become a den leader, become something in the program, so that 25 or 50 years from now, when one of you as an Eagle Scout is asked to speak at an Eagle Scout dinner, you can stand up in front and say, I took the challenge when I got my Eagle Award to continue on in the scouting program. As it says in the Eagle Charge, you are a marked man. Let's not let that mark diminish as you go into your future. Keep scouting in the program, keep yourself in the program, and let's keep the Boy Scouts of America going for another 100 years. Congratulations to all of you. It's a job that you work hard at, and it's with great honor that I can represent you tonight for the 100th anniversary of the Boy Scouts of America and the Eagle Scout Award. Don't let me down.